I think making it a 21 or older meat.
Was a wise decision.
Yeah. I mean, one, because, you know, we were drinking to begin with, and two, it would ensure at least a modicum of maturity. How about I look to see how it comes apart before I take it apart?
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Good thing I'm filming it, too. That way.
I did. I took pictures just before I pulled it, just to be
Yeah.
sure if I had a question, I went back to it.
You know what? That's a good idea. This thing, where's the big camera?
Pretty much you break them down into their sub-assemblies, and then each one of those you rebuild.
Ah.
That's what kind of makes it easy. So you don't think it's 10 million parts, you think it's 10, 100,000 parts. Power valve in it. Now, I didn't touch this at all.
Mm-hmm. What's a power valve?
It's what gives it more fuel.
Oh.
It's what part of that. But that's how loose things were.
Oh.
This whole carb was like that.
Oh.
The screws on it, I could have taken my fingers and just... it was running. I'm hoping this might improve my miles per gallon from 7 and go upward somewhere. It's just nice to see that. You're pulling it apart, at least you know. Stuff I'd probably forget.
Mm-hmm.
You jumping that time, buddy. The first time I jumped. You got me good. Payback will come.
Okay. There's all that.
Then you'll end up taking this apart and rebuilding it, and that and rebuilding it, and this and rebuilding it. And this is just the bare.
This thing is like 2 pieces. Well, these I guess would come out, maybe. And then these faux balls, these are different. These are things on springs.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they act like a motorcycle's needle jet would. They're tapered down at the end here. Or they have 2 steps.
Where does it sit in?
These things sit
In here?
Yeah.
Somewhere. I don't know. Let me look at it once again.
Unless I have this backwards.
Yeah, you're right. They sit down in here. So yeah, that's how that'll work.
So
Floats come up and seals it. That's how it fills the bowl.
Alright. This would be a case for me buying one of those 2-gallon sonic cleaners.
Yeah?
Yeah, we could just dump the whole thing in, gaskets and all, right? They don't hurt them.
I don't know if that's going to take the gasket off.
Yeah.
Don't you need him mic'd up?
I was expecting a firecracker right now. Getting around the van.
Yeah, I did watch that.
But the thing I made the mistake is, like, when I was working on the plasma cutter, I had the.
When did you learn to do that?
I'm gonna deal with this when I get done with this. That's got a lot of parts in it. It's got multiple weirdness, and so I'll clean this because there's nothing much to clean. I guess except for the choke plate. There's some corrosion on that. Should I just steel wool, or I don't know? Or...
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's sitting in water. Rainwater hit it and rusted it.
Yeah. Aside from that, Justin Kramer is running fresh gas. These things aren't corroded. These little screens. Yeah. Some of these bags that they gave me are split in between the upper and lower, so I can't just open one bag, reassemble this, put it all back together. I'd still have stuff floating around.
Mine's, all the O-rings in general are in one bag.
Yeah.
They did do this kind of nice where they did the.
They half assembled them for you?
No, they
just put them on.
They do. They have the O-rings on those, and the clips, the stuff that goes with them are in that bag. As far as the other parts, though, those could be in there anyway.
Right.
Then we'd walk in the back, and you're way in the back, and it's packed, so you just go security. Everyone moves out of your way, you weasel right up to the front. You just stop saying it for the last 15 feet. Then by the time you're where you want to be, nobody knows any different.
Yeah. It's all packed in, no one's looking at your shirt. Yeah. That's good. And it works too, because
it works amazingly well.
Yeah.
Because nobody's gonna argue with security. They're gonna get thrown out.
Yeah. Looking for that little yoinker. Yoinker.
There's a yoinker.
Yoinker. I want to thank Dolores for buying us lunch today. I just woke up and came over here because I woke up so late that I didn't eat anything. So now what I'm going to do now is ever so slowly take things apart, and then immediately the part I take off, putting back together. Like I'm putting back on, not setting it aside. That way the memory of the part, like these Venturis here. Oh, that's easy enough. And they are gunky. And I got two little jets in here. Yeah, that would be nasty to try to clean down those holes. Bruce says it would be easier just to cook this whole cook everything, put it in the parks cleaner and let it soak. Especially these gaskets here that are just part of the metal now. I'm putting them back on, but I'm putting them on just finger tight here. Carburetors are simultaneously very complicated and not complicated at all. I remember a television show called Connections with James Burke, and they drew a line from those old-timey scent sprayers that beautiful ladies used back in the 19th century. And there's corrosion there. That all a carburetor is that all these things are oop, got under my thumb there. This stuff stings a bit. That all carburetors are an extension of those old-timey perfume sprayers. The little ball that used the vacuum to draw fuel out. Only there's a lot of different parts that come out. So if I can take that off, and I can take that off. Again, I'm big on muscle memory. Nothing quite like remembering how it goes back together, like putting it back together over and over again. Because it's been years since I took apart a carburetor. These would be your main jets and main jets. Because this, originally, these two barrels of Venturis are what's going to be supplying the fuel when you're just tooling around. And then when you get on it, these open. And then you get more than twice the amount of fuel dumping in there. And more than twice the air. Now this is stuck a little bit, isn't it? A little wiggle, out it comes. Alright. There is a lot of corrosion. Well, it's just a little bit of dead gas in there. Because again, this thing doesn't... These are the equivalent of where the floats go. Like the float bowls, if you're thinking in terms of a motorcycle. Hey Bruce, I got a nasty idea. One sec. Bruce Hen and everybody working off the clock on a Saturday on their own projects. And thank you, Will. Will's another guy here at Bruce Hen that you see here and there. He was grinding my heads, and so the block is getting ready. The engine block's getting ready. I'm almost done here disassembling the carb. Bruce says the easiest thing to do is to dunk this in the part washer. Maybe I'll do that this time this week and combine the videos, or we'll just combine the videos into one. So there it is. There is as near as we need right now a disassembled Edelbrock 1405 carburetor. You can see down here you have the Venturi tunnels, which now I kept the screws in. This is a move I do, so I never lose a screw. When I take them out, I don't put them in an envelope. I don't put them in a box. I get them finger tight here. Oh, maybe a finger torqued, and get them down in all the holes. That way I know I have all my screws, because the kit doesn't give you any extras. My accelerator pump spring comes out. Where's the accelerator pump? Where is it? Where's the pump? Alright. Where'd it go? Ruh-roh. Where's the pump? Where's the little plunger? Oh! That's right. I put it back on here. Alright, so this has to come out again. I hate the Eagles, man. Which is weird because I like Flight, or like Journey of the Sorcerer. There's the pump. There's the accelerator pump. Mission... Oh, now I'm singing it. Why do people like Hotel California? I liked Hotel California. It was on one of my mixtapes back in the day. 90s mixtapes. Is there anything else down in the bottom of the needle jet? See, oh, I'm not done. The air and fuel mixture jets and screws have to come out. Lots of little parts on these things, but as you go through it, and as you take your time, you know what, before I start undoing those, take the bolts out of the accelerator pump. The screwdriver is nice. Speed screwdriver, very nice clutch on it. Well, this is what people used before computers. And arguably, Bruce said, we were doing a periscope earlier here, and people were asking, how much power do you think it's going to make when it's all done? And I had the phone on Bruce, and I said, well, if the engine can make what it made from the factory with the fuel injection, which Ford claimed the original 302 in 1993 made 225 horsepower. And Bruce said, oh, you'll make more than that. We'll be making about 250. And I smiled, like, all right, sounds good. 250 is a nice round number, and really all you need, especially for a car that the Falcon is smaller than a Mustang. It's lighter than a Mustang, so. And by Mustang, I mean, 60s Mustang. Now I see why people like Edelbrocks, because when Tony was here, he was working on a Holley Double-Pumper, and that was a lot of parts in that, a lot of parts. And a whole bunch of different pieces. An Edelbrock is 2 pieces. That's it. And all of the bits fill in together. So it's a very consolidated design. Whereas his came apart like a transformer, this just came apart like a clam. So I can see why people tend to prefer Edelbrocks. And Holleys maybe are something to brag about, that you have a tuned up double pumper from Holley. Anywho, even in Mad Max, the war rig was run by Holleys. So, oh yeah, air fuel mixture screws. These are the little things you move into. Wow, these are tiny. But these are how you dial a carburetor in. Almost got it in the eye, he said knowingly. Now, all in all, it's not a cruddy carburetor. There's a bit of fuel gunk down in there. Actually, quite a bit in that one. Get up a level with the parts washer. Yep, there it comes. That's helping a little bit. Yeah, I tell you, no matter what, this stuff wants to get in your eye. I really wanted a manual one because I like the idea of futzing with it. I'm always futzing with the manual one on the Falcon. Well, that's really it, guys. I'm just going to put this back together and call this carb disassembled. Get all these little cups of all the stuff, maybe in little bags. Tony has some extra ones over there. I'll use them. Now that everything's apart, the carburetor bits go in this bath that I really shouldn't be touching. Oh, ooh. That's a goopy mess in there. Is there enough that the whole thing can fit? What if it doesn't? Oh, I got a problem. Doesn't fit. Okay. Well, it'll have to go in multiple days, I guess. The bottom will just have to do 2 days, huh? I'm thinking these delicate stuff are clean enough. Like the needles.
Yeah, you can clean that by hand if you want to.
Okay.
Juice some of that carb cleaner stuff.
Mm-hmm. These jobber doos. Glorp. Thanks for getting all these bank envelopes.
Yeah, well, I walked in that looking for Ziplocs because I meant to grab some.
Yeah?
I totally forgot. And she handed me those. I was like, oh, that'll work really nice.
Yeah. You can also cut apart the airbags for packaging.
Yeah.
They make nice baggies. Is it eating through this yet? No, but it's getting thin. I can clean that by hand. Well, these are more Venturis. Or barrels. Yeah. Good. Well, that's it. At least for now. I'll have to come back and flip that over. Cooker is going crazy in the under end of the shop, using air constantly. That compressor over there is gonna, oh, there it goes. Pull the gunk out. And then probably gonna add this, the main one here. This will have to go in upside down. And all my little guys right here. Here's the top. Venturis. Here's, oh, that was just goo. Oh, this, one of these. Anything else in here? That's some Haggard spring. I have no idea what that is. There's a pebble. So now this has to go in. Well, it just has to go in without the screen. It's just how it is. I can't even touch the camera with this, with the amount of gunk that's on here. Bruce was very serious that this was dangerous stuff. course, before I touch that, I better put on fresh gloves. Now, with all the goop on the carburetor, we get to share the, whew, smell that. We get to double glove it. Start washing the gunk off in the parts washer. Interesting thing is you can have two things going in here. Our cylinder heads are down below, cooking away, and up above you can still use the little wand here to clean up all your parts. You know, I thought the goo would have got rid of this bracket, or the gasket. Turns out it didn't. Oh, and the goo didn't even, I thought the goo would have taken off the Edelbrock sticker. Oh, wait. There it goes. Got to remember that, make sure none of this splashes back in my face. I have my glasses on, so at least I have a little bit of protection. Now Tony says, dump this out. Because it still has the goo in it. Now, I can fill this back up again. With just the parts cleaning solution, and it can sit in this. The next day, this is now day 3. Of course, you're seeing this all in one video. Now the bottom half is done, or at least soaked in here. Of course, I'm not thinking, story of my life, I'm not thinking things through. I need the bucket. Yeah. Okay, so this is the last bit that I need to, this is the bottom half of the carburetor that I need to put in the parts washer, and then hopefully start building today. Should I just talk nonsense to him? You know, one time I went down and we got the hose and it went in, but the cops counted. You know, we went over to the 19 bus bar, and then I knew girls, but she had 3 titties, just like Total Recall. So I put them together and started my moped. Yeah, word salads.
You gotta do it. It'll be hilarious. And you gotta get them on film.
The government puts farts in my asses. My Honda Fit is faster than your Mach 1.
Yeah, that's what
you know why? Because mine has fuel injection.
Come, you got a blower on it.
I got a blower. It's eBay fresh.
Yeah, comes electric. The leaf blower.
Hello again, Mr. Clean-O-Matic. The video is just the same stuff over and over again. At least my shirt changed. Ugh, I keep doing that. Already looks cleaner. Alright, I'm gonna let that drip for just a little bit, and then start getting all my parts over there on the workbench and start putting this thing back together. Tell you what, there's no more stalling now. No more stalling, no more polishing. It's 12 o'clock, this place starts closing up at 3. Can I build a carburetor in 3 hours? I polished, you see, I'd spent so much time polishing stuff that I spent so much time polishing every little bit that was doing it to stall for time, because I really didn't want to start, because I was afraid of starting. I mean, you've heard me say it a number of times so far. I have experience with motorcycle parts, but there's a lot of delicate little things in here. I need little valves, little gaskets for all the ventures. Wow, those are tiny parts. One of the things I'm glad I did is keep all these screws in where they go. That way I know. So it looks like these gaskets squish a little bit as they go in. So I need to press this sideways. Okay, this little bit goes, this little tab goes over top of the other one, I guess, so you can get these things off easy. And these, I just want to do this before lunch. I'm gonna have to check the instructions and make sure that these gaskets are the ones that are correct. Well, lunch is over. Now I'm back out here doing this. And it's now 12:30, which means I have 2.5 hours to finish this. Okay, all the little bits in here are, alright, you know what, I am not gonna mess with those yet. These have new gaskets on, so in they go. I need a slightly larger one. Boy, this video is gonna take a lot of editing to knock it all down. There goes the compressor again. I'd like to thank once again Advanced Auto Parts for giving me this carburetor rebuild kit. This is going to make everything so much easier. Deception. And we got extra little jets down here that I didn't mess with. I'm guessing these things, this one feeds this one, that one feeds these. Do we have to take those out? Well, I can give them a... Oh wait, to get these out, that has to come out. Well, they look... Yeah, they're clean. I have to make sure that these gaskets sit flush. Did you have to block that off, or is that your fuel line?
This is just a vent line for emissions.
Oh, okay.
I'm not running emissions.
Do you think this thing has emissions on it, or an aftermarket?
Everything's there for it, but nothing that you need to block.
Okay.
Most of them, the newer stuff comes with both, and it just block off what you don't need.
Looks like you can change jets in here, just like on a bike, if you want to richen it up. I'm just tightening these things, like, tight but not too tight. I don't think there's torque settings for Venturas.
Snug everything up, yeah.
Alright. There's one lever in that. These are all levers. So what's in this? Floats. Is there anything else? Alright, accelerator, pump springs, connectors, and needles. Alright. So we got one here. That's together. I got the accelerator pump. I'm going to put everything back in and just do the accelerator pump right now. Right now it's Wednesday, 2 days before the storm. How did the storm go? Oh wait, there is nothing for the accelerator pump in this one. But there is a tiny spring. This is the one that's together. And this is the one that, still tarnish on that. I'm glad I kept one together. Now I need to get one of these tiny springs and put it on that. And then that goes under that, right? That goes in that, and that goes in that. So that bit's together. What else can I tell? These are for the choke. Those are all little clips. And there's little springs that go into those tubes. I need some tape to tape this back up. I got lost with those secondary valves, so I'm just not going to deal with them right now. And I'll do the floats. These are the old fuel valves. Oh, they give you new ones too, and they give you them in sets. I can open this one. What you hear in the background is they got the surround sound going at Bruce's, and they're watching something at the TV at the other end of the shop, so everybody gets to hear whatever there is they're watching. So these are the new fuel seats or something like that. What are they called? 27 needle and seat assembly. Okay, these are new ones. And the filter screen goes in here. I wonder if the old one fits in the new one. The old one fits in the new one. But does the new one fit in the new one? Don't want to force it. Well, there it is. There's the filter that's in there. O-ring. Maybe it's a crush O-ring. It goes in there. And that should thread in like yay. The needle seat will go into here. And then this fits over top. And then we deal with float heights later. There's one. Now I do the other, just like that. I'm going to change the accelerator pump. And I need a little puller. Without snapping any of these little tangs. There we go, that's off. And the new one goes on. There's that. Now it doesn't have a new spring on it because I don't know how to get this thing off, and I don't know, maybe it's not supposed to come apart. Okay, thanks to Bruce, found out that this little butterfly valve goes underneath the secondary ventures. And now, thanks to Bruce's dad, Hen Sr., I can start putting this all together. And we're coming up on 4. We got 45 minutes before the shop closes. And I have to put the gasket between the upper and lower parts in before I put the floats in, because this thing is going to have to come then back apart when I set the float height and float drop. The floats are what keep, and I apologize for the music in the background. The floats are what meter how much fuel sits in the float bowl. Like this is your the floats. Your bowls there are like your fuel that's on deck before it goes through the jets. So you can see one is dropping way lower than the other. So I forget which one is floating higher. See that their drop is different. This one here is dropping lower. So what I really should do is bend this one in. I wish it was more scientific than bending stuff, but it isn't. That's why they're made of copper. Copper's bendy. Oh, see, I bent it too much. Need little pliers here, or big pliers. Just a little bit of bendy. I'm just making them even for now. I don't know if they're even too high or even too low, but in they again. Oh, I bent it the wrong way again. There you go. That's good.